was her who was never going to release pictures of the children with King Charles. It was her who's so determined to protect their privacy. It's ghoulish. That's the only word that can explain Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sharing a private picture of their so-called private children, Archie and Lily, on their so-called private vigil to lay flowers at Princess Diana's grave for the first time.
Something of a reneging on the deal to keep this trip private.
Meghan Markle spent years insisting that privacy was sacred. Privacy for her children, privacy for her marriage, privacy from the British press, privacy from the royal machine she claimed had made life unbearable. And then, with one Instagram photo dump, she may have blown apart the very privacy deal that allowed her family to return to Britain without a single unwanted photograph.
No wonder there is now international revulsion over this decision to go public with the most intimate details of their summer family holiday, to once again hit back and, as Piers Morgan put it in one word, privacy? Yeah, right.
The British press got nothing. No airport shots, no grainy pictures outside a hotel, no convoy entering Highgrove, no image of Harry, Meghan, Archie, or Lilibet arriving at Althorp. For once, the entire operation stayed locked down. Then Meghan posted the evidence herself. Not a palace photographer, not a paparazzo hiding behind a hedge. Meghan.
Yeah, we love family snaps, and she's offered us a little photo dump of the recent visit to Portugal and the UK.
And buried among the smiling vacation pictures, poolside moments, beach walks, dinners, dogs, and carefully staged glimpses of the children was one image that instantly changed the entire conversation. Harry and the children were shown walking down a green path.
You too are insane and ghoulish. You too have no respect for Princess Diana's resting place. And also all of us who have to put up with your constant briefings about privacy. And then you post the most intimate photos that we have never seen of members of the royal family unless they've been taken by paparazzi. Like, no, we don't want to see Meghan's ass cheeks, okay, while she's watching her children in the water. Please.
Harry and Archie appeared to be carrying large bouquets of flowers. The location was widely identified in reporting as Althorp, the Spencer family estate where Princess Diana grew up and where she is buried on a private island. The photograph did not show Diana's grave. That matters. No one should pretend it did. But it did not need to show the grave to trigger outrage.
Meghan Markle takes what should be a solemn and private family moment and exploits it for clicks and money. It's so incredibly disgusting, and I can't help but imagine Prince William would be incensed. There's nothing wrong with them visiting Diana's grave, but why did she have to disrespect Harry and her children by posting about it?
Because once People magazine connected the image to Althorp, and once viewers noticed the flowers, the obvious question exploded across royal media. Had Meghan just included a private walk toward Diana's resting place in a glossy summer photo dump? And if that is what the photograph captured, why was it shared at all?
She commoditizes her children and the memory of her deceased mother-in-law for the world to see. This, perhaps more than anything else, exposes what a hypocrite and liar Meghan is. It also reveals the disdain she has for her mother-in-law, who is everything she isn't.
This was not a birthday portrait. It was not a public engagement. It was not a carefully approved palace image released to mark a national occasion. It appeared to be a deeply personal family moment connected to Harry's late mother.
Diana's brother, the Earl, had said no cameras. And by that, he meant no camera crews. But he clearly didn't mean a camera phone, which means, of course, when they went over to the island, there was obviously a camera phone with them. Is there photos? Are there videos? You know, we've all heard talk of the Diana documentary that Harry is thinking of doing next year for the 30th anniversary of her death, which is also incredibly ghoulish.
Yet there it was, sitting beside vacation pictures as content. That is why critics are not treating this as another harmless collection of family snaps. They are calling it a calculated breach of privacy, a betrayal of trust, and the latest example of Meghan demanding secrecy from everyone else while reserving the right to reveal whatever benefits her own image. The timing makes it even worse.
The Netflix Harry and Meghan doc had a bunch of their home videos, and by that I mean their phone videos on them. So this would likely be appearing there.
According to commentators discussing the visit, Harry and Meghan were reportedly expected to follow strict conditions. No photographs from the royal reunion, no social media posts from royal property, no interviews revealing private conversations. The palace side had every reason to demand that. Harry has repeatedly taken private royal discussions and carried them into television interviews, books, documentaries, podcasts, and court statements.
It is kind of creepy. She's got the Princess Diana bathing suit. She's not, it's odd. It's just odd. It's also truly elitist. We already know that Meghan doesn't really like to hang out with anyone who's worth under 10 million, really.
Every reunion now comes with one terrifying question for the family. How long before the details appear in public? So this visit was handled like a security operation. The family reportedly moved through Britain in blacked-out vehicles. Their movements stayed hidden. They were able to visit Highgrove. They were believed to have stayed at Althorp. Harry moved between locations without the press obtaining the photographs that would normally be worth a fortune.
The pictures that they need to secure for the documentary next year do not actually have to be filmed by a camera crew. Because, of course, one of the main reasons why Netflix was so happy with the Harry and Meghan documentary, which, remember, was a hit. It's the only show that has been a hit as part of their Netflix package.
Royal journalists admitted that a clear image of Meghan and the children back in Britain could have sold for 6 figures. Still, nobody got it. That proves privacy was possible. It also destroys the old excuse that Harry and Meghan simply cannot enter Britain without chaos, exposure, and danger. They came, they moved around, they remained unseen. The system protected them.
This succession of pictures, and there you'll see all of these pictures have a particular meaning. All of them are designed to clap back at certain elements of our coverage over the past few weeks. She knows exactly what she's doing here, including the weird cosplaying of Princess Diana.
And after all that effort, Meghan opened Instagram. That is the part that will enrage critics most. The press respected the blackout. The palace maintained the silence. And the public received no official confirmation of the most private moments. Yet the Sussexes still controlled the final reveal. They got privacy when privacy protected them. Then, they got publicity when publicity suited them. That is not privacy. That is control. And this did not begin with the Althorp photograph. Immediately after the secret royal reunion, People magazine published intimate claims about Meghan's feelings, including reports that she was sad about parts of the visit and the situation surrounding the family.
But that's who Harry has married. He married a woman who cares nothing for him, his pain, or the memory of a woman who would probably have despised her. Meghan's always about the clicks, and this revolting picture is absolutely proof of that.
Commentators instantly asked the obvious question: how could a celebrity magazine know Meghan's private emotions unless someone close to the Sussexes had supplied them? People is regularly described by royal commentators as a friendly outlet for Harry and Meghan. That does not prove every detail came directly from them, but the pattern has become impossible to ignore. A private event happens. The palace says nothing. Then, a sympathetic publication somehow receives emotional detail, background context, and a version of events that benefits the Sussex narrative. Critics argued that this alone may already have broken the spirit of the alleged privacy agreement.
You have to admit, this is pretty sickening. The holiday pictures are fine. So Tasha's actually saying the holiday pictures are okay. But to take photos of the children carrying flowers on their way to lay them at Diana's grave is not something that should be shared with the public like a fun day out. It's ghoulish.
Now the photographs have arrived as well. Maybe there is no picture inside Highgrove. Maybe there is no shot of Meghan smiling beside King Charles and Queen Camilla. Maybe the most explosive photograph was never taken. But the absence of that image does not erase what Meghan did post. She confirmed the British trip visually. She gave the public a glimpse of the children on royal-linked ground. She reopened the Diana conversation. and she turned a visit that had been carefully protected from public view into a fresh media cycle built entirely around her Instagram account. That is why the phrase private family holiday suddenly sounds ridiculous. Private from whom?
Meghan's brand, as ever, is really Meghan. So you can't really separate between her personal Instagram and as ever Instagram. They also have the Sussex Instagram. And I think this is really about Meghan trying to shore up her own image as just a sweet mom with her kids and her husband.
Private from photographers Meghan does not control. Private from newspapers she does not like. Private until the pictures can be released on her terms, through her account, with her timing, and under her brand. Because those are not the same thing. The Sussexes have every right to post family photographs. They have every right to protect their children's faces. They have every right to decide how much of their private lives they want to share. But they cannot keep using privacy as a weapon against everyone else, and then act shocked when people notice the contradiction.
I just don't understand how Harry could want to do this. This is for his mother.
For years, Harry has described royal life as a goldfish bowl. He has spoken about cameras, intrusion, pressure, and the trauma of growing up under constant observation. Yet now, his own children appear again and again from behind, walking, playing, traveling, sitting in aircraft, visiting famous locations, and participating in moments clearly designed to attract attention without fully revealing their faces. Critics say this creates the perfect publicity machine. The children's faces remain hidden, so the mystery survives. But enough is shown to generate headlines. Every new glimpse becomes a story.
They are so full of nastiness and getting their own feelings back on everybody that they don't care.
Every change in height becomes a discussion. Every location becomes a clue. Every partial image keeps the public looking for the next one. That is not complete privacy. It is controlled scarcity. And controlled scarcity is extremely valuable. One commentator openly speculated that the rarity of clear images could increase their eventual commercial value. That remains speculation. There is no proof Meghan is preparing to sell a face reveal or monetize a future portrait. But the suspicion exists because the Sussex brand repeatedly uses family identity as part of its emotional marketing.
It was her who was never going to release pictures of the children with King Charles. It was her who's so determined to protect their privacy. And then this dump on Instagram, when finally it's revealed by people within the mainstream media that life within this marriage ain't happy. And let's be honest, no wonder if you wear a cosy in shoes like that, but that's a whole other story.
The children are referenced when Harry and Meghan discuss charity, family, legacy, Britain, Diana, reconciliation, safety, and their future. They are private when questions become uncomfortable. They are visible when the brand needs warmth. And now they have been placed at the center of a controversy involving the most emotionally charged location in Harry's life. Althorp is not just another country estate. It is where Diana spent part of her childhood. It is where her family history lives. Most importantly, it is where her grave was deliberately placed away from the public on an island surrounded by water.
To have been taken as they made their way to lay flowers at the grave of Princess Diana. And of course, within hours, predictably, confirmation from their propagandists at People magazine, who tried to paint this as some type of beautiful moment.
Charles Spencer has written about the isolation of the burial site and the effort to shield it from intrusion. The location was chosen because Diana's resting place was supposed to remain protected. That is what makes this image so explosive. Again, the grave itself was not photographed. The family may simply have been walking through the estate. The bouquets strongly fueled speculation, but the exact destination shown in that moment has not been independently confirmed. Still, perception matters. Meghan had hundreds of possible vacation photographs. She could have posted the beach. She could have posted the pool. She could have posted the dog.
Meghan Markle is wearing the same cut swimsuit Princess Diana was famous for. The Royal Grift describing it as absolutely mental, and Meghan's moles saying that it's psycho stalker behavior.
She could have posted a meal, a sunset, or another carefully cropped family image from Portugal. She chose to include the Althorp walk. She knew people would recognize it. She knew the flowers would raise questions. She knew Diana's name would dominate the headlines. And now we are supposed to believe the reaction surprised her? Please. Meghan has spent years inside one of the most analyzed families on Earth. She understands symbolism. She understands timing. She understands exactly what happens when a picture connects her children, Harry, Britain, and Diana, in one frame. Nothing about that combination is casual.
If this were a one-off, you'd probably give the person benefit of the doubt, right? But given this is now like such a trend, I do believe it's purposeful. Do you?
Of course.
Critics went even further, accusing the Sussexes of using Diana's memory for clicks and attention. Some suggested the material might one day appear in a documentary connected to the anniversary of Diana's passing. There is no confirmation of that. No announced project proves this photograph was taken for commercial use. That theory must remain exactly what it is, a theory. But Harry and Meghan have previously used private phone footage in their Netflix series. Their documentary included personal videos from major moments in their lives, material that initially looked like private memories and later became part of a global commercial production.
The Mail then went on to report that they did believe this to be Althorp, with their diary editor Richard Eden writing, "It is understood."
That history is why every phone camera at Althorp now raises suspicion. Were more pictures taken? Was video recorded? Will this moment appear again in a future documentary, described as a private family tribute while being distributed to millions of viewers? Nobody outside their circle knows. But the fact people immediately ask those questions shows how badly trust has collapsed. And then there is Prince William. Several commentators claimed William would be horrified or furious if the photograph was connected to a visit to Diana's grave. No official reaction from William has been reported, and it would be dishonest to present speculation as a palace statement. But it is not difficult to understand why his name entered the controversy.
The only reason that they made this visit was in order to secure those pictures. Because remember, they didn't want to make this visit because it goes against, and we'll come to this later, but it goes against what they've wanted to achieve in terms of the security.
William has generally kept his private visits and personal grief away from commercial media. He speaks about Diana when he chooses, but he has not built a constant content machine around her memory. For him, the grave is not an Instagram location. It is his mother's resting place. So imagine watching a carefully protected family site become the centerpiece of another Sussex publicity storm. Imagine seeing a moment involving your mother used to generate arguments, headlines, reaction videos, and brand attention. Even if William says nothing, the damage is already done. The public is debating Diana's grave because Meghan posted the picture. The photograph created the controversy. The controversy created the attention.
Just when you think Meghan can't be any more despicable, she goes ahead and proves us wrong. Who shares pics of a private moment that looks like they're visiting Diana's gravesite? There's Harry and Archie carrying flowers. Have some respect and keep it private. Disgusting, no shame.
And the attention flowed directly back to Meghan's account. That is the cycle. It also places Harry in an uncomfortable position. Meghan posted the photographs, but Harry was there. He is the one who has spent decades describing the pain of losing Diana. He is the one who has attacked media intrusion. He is the one who says his family must be protected from the forces that destroyed his childhood. So why allow this image into the public domain? Why turn what may have been his children's first deeply personal connection to their grandmother into content for strangers? Why not keep one moment sacred? Harry cannot blame the British press this time. They did not take the picture. He cannot blame a paparazzo. There was no ambush. He cannot blame the palace. The palace kept quiet. This came from inside the Sussex family album. That fact changes everything.
We know that Prince William's strongly held and deeply passionate view is that this site must remain sacred.
And the royal reunion is now trapped inside the same problem. The palace apparently gave Harry what he claimed to want: access, discretion, security, and a private meeting. King Charles reportedly spent less than an hour with the Sussex family at Highgrove. Commentators described it as formal rather than a dramatic, open-armed reconciliation. Camilla was said to have been present, with some reports suggesting her presence ensured there would be no later disagreement over what was said. That detail alone reveals how little trust remains. A family meeting allegedly needed boundaries, witnesses, controlled movement, and a media blackout. Then the Sussex publicity machine began moving almost immediately. First came emotional briefings. Then Harry publicly commented that his father was doing well. Now came the photographs from the wider trip. Each individual reveal may look small. Together, they create a pattern. The palace gives silence. The Sussexes give content.
Probably the last thing in the world Diana saw was the flashes of the camera, and now here is her daughter-in-law trampling on her memory with a camera in tow for her own greed.
And every time that happens, the possibility of a genuine reconciliation becomes more remote. Why would William trust another meeting? Why would palace aides allow relaxed access? Why would Charles Spencer welcome more private visits if images from his estate can become global Instagram material? One royal biographer predicted that Spencer could be furious and might refuse another visit. That was an opinion, not a confirmed response from him. But the warning is obvious. Access to royal and Spencer property depends on discretion. Once discretion disappears, doors close. And Meghan may have just demonstrated why the palace feared this reunion from the beginning. The photo dump also arrived near Prince George's 13th birthday, creating another wave of accusations that Meghan was attempting to pull attention away from William and Catherine's son. Again, timing alone does not prove intent. Children grow. Families post holiday photographs. Archie sitting in an aircraft cockpit does not automatically become an attack on George, but Meghan's timing is never examined in isolation anymore.
The shot of Althorp is just, it kind of makes your stomach turn a little bit.
Too many announcements, photographs, products, and stories have appeared near major royal events. So when the Sussex children suddenly return to Instagram while George's birthday photographs are still dominating coverage, critics see another competition for attention. And Meghan knows they will. That may be the darkest part of this entire story. She does not need to say anything provocative. She only needs to post the correct image at the correct moment and allow the internet to do the rest. A path at Althorp. Bouquets in Harry and Archie's hands. The backs of the children. No caption explaining the location. No direct mention of Diana's grave. Just enough information to ignite speculation while preserving plausible deniability. Then People magazine supplies context. Commentators explode. Headlines spread around the world. And Meghan remains at the center of the story without answering a single question. That is not careless publicity. That is highly efficient publicity. So what happens now? The palace is unlikely to issue an emotional public complaint. William is unlikely to jump onto television and describe his reaction. Charles Spencer may never reveal what he privately thinks.
This photo is what has got a lot of people upset.
Royal fury is usually expressed through silence, distance, and closed doors. No invitation, no access, no second chance. And if this trip was supposed to prove that Meghan and Harry could return to Britain, respect boundaries, and rebuild trust, the photo dump may have achieved the opposite. It reminded everyone why the boundaries existed. It reminded the palace that private moments can become public narratives. It reminded William that Diana remains the Sussexes' most powerful emotional currency. And it reminded the public that Meghan's definition of privacy appears to change depending on who controls the camera. The question is no longer whether the photographs were attractive. Of course, they were carefully selected. The question is what they were selected to do. Were they simply innocent family memories? Were they designed to answer negative headlines about the marriage? Were they meant to show that Meghan had returned to Britain on her own terms? Were they a warning that the Sussexes still possess private material from the royal reunion? Or was the Althorp image chosen because nothing drives attention like Diana? Whatever the answer, one thing is undeniable. The secret trip is secret no longer. The British press did not expose it. The palace did not expose it. Meghan did. And now every private royal door she wants opened in the future may come with an even stronger lock. Because the royal family can forgive criticism. It can survive headlines. It can ignore another Instagram photo dump. But trust is different. Once a family believes its most sensitive moments can be repackaged as content, there is almost nothing left to negotiate. So, was this a harmless collection of summer photographs, or did Meghan just sabotage the very reconciliation Harry claims to want? Did the Althorp picture honor Diana, or did it turn a sacred family moment into publicity? And after the palace protected this visit so completely, should Meghan and Harry ever be trusted with another private royal reunion? Tell us what you think below. And subscribe to Crown Clash, because if more photographs from Highgrove or Althorp appear, this story will explode all over again.